here to the Camps Prairie area in 1971 and to Winchester in 1981. My family and I have deep ties to this community. I have been involved in the yearly rodeo that my parents promoted in 1991, and my family and I continue to promote that rodeo. My children and my grandchildren consider this community home, as I do. I want the best for them. With future progress embraced along with the historical significance this community holds, from the logging industry, which founded this community, to the ranching and farming families with a cowboy mentality that we cherish. The roll up your sleeves and work together qualities we do share in a small town. The looking out for each other mentality that rural communities represent. That's what I want to get back. The honesty, the integrity, and the common courtesy we were raised on seems to have been lost. True, I have some issues. Then again, there's only been one perfect person that ever lived. And he could walk on water, but I can't. But I believe in this community, and I'm willing to work hard alongside whoever is chosen to make Winchester great again. Thank you.
My name is Dee Dee Morris. I moved here in 1984, graduated from Craigmont High School. This will be my third term on City Council. I just want the best for the community, and I think we have started looking at that, and we've started coming up with that.
Hello, my name is John Lawson. I was nominated on the City Council a little over a year ago. When you're nominated on, that means there was a vacancy. What happened was the mayor resigned. So Marion stepped up and became the mayor, so it opened a spot on the City Council, and I was nominated in. But then what happens is the next vote, then you have to run for election. That's why I'm running. I think I have done a good job on City Council. My background is I was in the Marine Corps, enlisted, then I became an officer. I have a degree in corporate finance. I have run large buildings. I used to run buildings, logistics, up to 1.4 million square foot. Had 700 employees. The last couple of years I've been doing consulting work. Now I'm semi-retired. I have a job that I work for the Nez County Sheriff's Office. I do maintenance on the building. I kind of like playing around with stuff and keep it busy. But I also live in this town, and I want to represent this town. Thank you.
My name is Miriam Youngren. I am the current mayor of Winchester, and I'm running again for mayor. I believe that the most important thing you can have going for you in a small town or a large town is integrity, honesty, transparency. You have to be humble because you will make mistakes, and you have to admit when you're wrong. And I think that if you have those qualities and obviously put them out there and care for this community. My husband Wally and I moved here in 1990. I don't know when we moved here. We've been here 23 years. I was a nurse working mostly nights at St. Joe's, so I slept during the day and worked a lot, and I missed a lot. And over the last 6 years being on the City Council, and now the last year being the mayor, I've met a lot of people who have a lot of really talented people here in town, have a lot of really interesting people here in town who have some amazing ideas of some ways we can easily grow this town to be a more welcoming community, a safe community. And I want to support those people and support the town as we move forward.
Hello, I'm Patricia Fierstead, and I'm running for mayor. I grew up in Canyon. My family were pioneers traveling the Oregon Trail. Others moved from West Virginia to the Lehigh Prairie after the Civil War. I returned here because this area is home. This community holds countless memories for me. The city's plan to widen all streets to code so we can access funds and grants. Sounds good, but at what cost? A wider street could increase speed by as much as 10 to 15 miles per hour. Studies have been done that show a 30-foot street width in center. The average car is 7.5 feet wide. You add 9 feet, that gives plenty of clearance on a two-way street at 30 feet. Studies show that a 30-foot width results in 0.007 accidents per year per mile. At 40 feet, there's 0.27 accidents per year per mile. That's a 280% increase. Result is makes it more dangerous for pedestrian traffic. Nationwide, there is a move to reduce street width in residential areas for safety concerns.
Excuse me. You're gonna tell us about you?
Yes, I am. But I also want to tell you what my ideas are about this town. That it goes right along with the mayor. Is that okay?
You asked.
Well, I'm just saying.
I thought we were.
Well, I am introducing myself. These are my ideas, and that's part of who I am.
Okay.
Okay?
I'm just trying to help you so that you know what it's like to go to the city council meeting.
I'm into this.
I know that.
I oppose stretching residential streets to 40 feet. I want 30-foot streets in the road used for pedestrian parkways. Second thing I think we have a problem with in town is snow. Our city worker has issues keeping the streets we have now cleared in winter. Adding an additional 10 feet to the street width without addressing the snow issues we already have doesn't seem logical. It's unacceptable for driveways to have 4-foot berms with rocks and hunks of ice in them. The management of snow and its removal needs to be resolved. A hydraulic snow gate for grader would eliminate the driveway and alley issues. A large percentage of the population are either retired or disabled, and should be a factor in decisions the city makes. Each community has issues and needs and special concerns. This particular piece of equipment is necessary for this community. Furthermore, the policy of not removing snow from intersections and alley entrances, piling up excessive amounts of on the city streets is unacceptable. That's it. I can't finish. Well, does it count for being interrupted me? That ate up some of my time.
It was 30 seconds ago. We'll start with Diane again. Questions and answers. Specifically, questions for Diane?
They're gonna ask me questions. I went down and eat or
Leave her now.
I don't know how you turn it.
I do, or down, you're not.
So not good?
Yeah, there's just the button down there on the bottom will automatically, on the right side is what it's set, so you can lower it. It's on your, no, either on your face. I set up this thing for neighborhood lights on it, so you can get around. I don't know. It takes a minute for it to shut off, turn down.
Now we'll open to questions to individual candidates. We can start with Diane Humphrey. If you have a question for her, please stand up or raise your hand. Yes, sir.
Mrs. Humphrey, you said honesty and all this stuff. My question is, do you live on the hill or do you live on the
My residence is 222 Ladway Street, Winchester, Idaho, 83555.
Yes, my question was, do you live on the hill or do you live over here?
I live at 222 Ladway Street, Winchester, Idaho. That is my primary residence. That's where I'm registered to vote. That's where I pay taxes.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
What I have a question.
Okay.
With honesty and integrity, you're gonna tell us that you live, Ms. Humphrey, in Winchester more than 50% of the time. You sleep in this town more than 50% of the time.
Residency is different than that. All I need to do is require residency, which I have had since 2010 in this town. Yes, sir. I've been here longer than you.
Do you reside in this town?
My residence is 222 Loveway Street, Winchester, Idaho. You can check the county records.
If that's the way you're gonna answer the question, I'm going to enact State Legislator 34-431.
And would you expand on that, please, sir?
That is, I'm going to question your residency and where you reside, then the county can research it.
May I have that number again, please?
34-431.
Okay, go for
Because
it.
I have never seen you reside at that residence.
Are you following me day and night?
Okay, this town is 5 blocks by 5 blocks.
Can you tell me where I spend most of my time?
No.
All right. Then you have no idea where I am or
You
what
guys,
I'm doing.
we're not gonna argue about this. There's been a disagreement on your residency, it's been noted. Let's go on. Any more questions?
I just wondered, where do you get a discount on your property taxes as a homeowner? You can't do both, so which place do you file for?
I filed at 222 Lockway Street, Winchester, Idaho, 83555.
Well, I know the address, but how long have you done that?
I recently applied for that last year, over a year ago, yes.
Okay.
There's another question over here.
Yeah, do you have the questions that we break down to?
No, yes, we haven't gotten out of the box yet.
Okay, because those are questions that I'm hoping that everybody will answer. And one of the questions is, in the last year, what have you done to volunteer or work with the town or the city council to improve the town in a positive way? And I'd kind of like to go down and have each person answer that question, because I don't just have that question for one person. And then I have a second question, but they're on that sheet. So on the one that has 2 questions, that's mine. And if we could go, is that okay if we go down to each person answers it? Because that's what I'd like to hear.
Intern,
Would you repeat that question, please?
what have you done in the last year to help improve Winchester town?
I've done some volunteer work with individuals that are indigent. I've also been cleaning up some properties in town. I've also promoted the Winchester Rodeo that brings thousands of dollars into this community, and I promoted that out of my pocket. I volunteer in various other ways. Just because you don't see what I do, you don't need to expand on what I don't get done or what you don't see.
No, I didn't want anything negative. I mean, in a positive way, and I'm asking everybody the question, not just you. I'd like to hear that from each person.
Okay.
So my turn?
Yeah.
I'm on the city council, and this is gonna be my 3rd term. I'm on Winchester days. I volunteer whenever anybody needs help. All they have to do is say something. I help Mike in the wintertime shovel out, as well as my son, shovel out the fire hydrants in case there's a fire. If Mike needs extra help, I help wherever I'm needed.
Thank you. Sir, Ron?
I'm on the city council, volunteer fire department. I'm also on Winchester days. I help Mike when he needs to work the streets for the width, trying to come up with where the setbacks are. You see me out there with tape measure. We go off, because that end of town's already been surveyed. So it's pretty easy to do that end. This end takes quite a bit of work when we try to come up with the property lines. I also do help with snow removal. I do the sidewalks with the John Deere tractor that they have. Those are the basic things I do.
Thank you.
I have been on the city council while I was on for 5 years. I've been the mayor since September of 2018. And quite honestly, I haven't done a lot of volunteer work because I only retired a year ago. But currently, I am involved in a Walking with the Mayor contest put on by Blue Cross Blue Shield. It's a program called their High Five Initiative to get kids away from TVs and computer games and outside walking. So with the help of several people in town, on October 5th, I took a group of kids with t-shirts that my husband helped me make that say "Walking in Winchester." We walked around the Discovery Trail, and if I do that and videotape it, which I did, and if I get 10,000 steps a day, which is way harder than it seems, I will get $1,000 to put towards Parks and Rec for the kids in our town. So I think that's really important, and this is the first time I've been involved in that. I've recently started going to the Neighborhood Watch programs, which is a very strong group that's done a lot of good in town. I have been to a couple of Friends of the Library meetings. I purchased some cleaning products for the library. I just think that I am a positive influence. I'm not a politician at all, but I think with my 23 years of experience as a leader in, as a nurse in the ER at St. Joe's, I've learned quite a bit about being a positive influence and a positive leader without being a politician.
Thank you.
Okay, as far as volunteer work in this community, I haven't really done a lot since I've been here. I've been involved in a few little things. But as far as a volunteer, when I lived in Canyon from 2000 to 2006 rather, I started a 501c3, applied for it and got the numbers from Washington DC and started the Canyon Food Club. I ran that for 8 years. We put food boxes together every month for 220 families. It was a volunteer organization. I had anywhere from 80 to 40 volunteers every month that did all the work. We put food boxes together and we gave out food every bi-monthly. We gave out bread. I mean that, and as far as something that I did good for a community at that same time, a lady came into the organization and complained about she wasn't getting a free post office box at Canyon, and she couldn't afford to pay the rental. So I contacted the post office, found out they were charging for free post office boxes because they did no in-town service. I ended up having to call the Postmaster General in Washington DC, but it was resolved, and there were free post office boxes given out in town because they didn't have them. So I haven't done much in this town, but I am a positive person, and I can get things done, and I have a grand volunteer organizations, and I do work with people. I do research. I'm fair.
Thank you. I have one more question here that's directed to the mayor. If you become mayor, how would you plan to work together with the council for positive change?
Oh, I wrote that question in for both.
Okay. Well, I can tell you some things that I feel like I've helped accomplish in the last year. We have an ongoing town cleanup that we've made great strides with. We have some issues, but we have had that on the agenda every month, and we have made a lot of positive changes with that. We had a comprehensive plan that hadn't been updated since 1981. Again, with the help of a lot of people, we got that updated. We're still waiting for some maps, but Angela Edwards from CETA did a really good job leading that, but we did get that completed. I think that I have continued to, more people come to the council meetings than ever, and I think that I have helped make those welcoming, inclusive meetings. We're one of the only city councils that allow anyone to speak if they're not on the agenda. We're one of the only city councils that after every single agenda item, I ask if anyone has any questions or comments and allow them time to speak. I think I work very well with the group. I think, like I said, I've, in the last month or so, come to find that we have some really talented people in this town that are really interested in moving things forward, like cleaning up the town and painting murals or planting flowers and continuing the Saturday market. Those are all just very important things for a town our size, and I'm just very interested and committed to helping those things move forward.
Go ahead, Pat.
Question one more time.
If you become mayor, what do you plan, how do you plan to work together with the council for positive change?
Well, it's called respect. you gotta respect each other, you gotta treat each other with common courtesy. You can't look down on somebody because their ideas are different than yours. The first thing you have to learn is to agree to disagree, but it's not personal, and it shouldn't be made personal. You should be able to sit down and discuss things logically and reasonably, and come to a mutual assessment that works for everybody. It isn't about somebody winning or this group winning, it's about working to the benefit of the community as a group. You gotta be a team, there's no I in team.
Okay.
Steve,
Go ahead.
so if you're the mayor and you have a problem, in your opinion, should I also offer a solution?
Well, that would be a good idea, you know, if you bring me a problem, that's fine, but I will do the research and come up with a variety of solutions, hopefully, and those will, hopefully, when they're presented to the group, there'll be one among them that will meet the specifications and desires needed.
So if someone comes to the city council, and as the mayor, you are basically a moderator at the city council, because you can't vote unless there's a tie. And I address a problem and just tell you that I got too much snow, or the streets are too narrow, or this or whatever, and I should offer you a solution. Would you agree with that or not?
I don't think necessarily you should, because that's a city problem, that's not your problem. If your streets are.
Well, it is my problem if I think it's a problem.
Well, it is your problem, it's a city problem too, because it's a city street.
So,
I mean, if you have a solution, that's great, but the city should have a solution, because it shouldn't have been a problem to begin with, right?
you answered my question.
Would you ask the same question as the present mayor?
Sure.
Again, referring back to my leadership as a nurse, if someone brought me a question or a problem, I did ask them their suggestion for a solution. And as we go forward, I do want to have a moment of time at some point to address the snow and the streets and the report that the study that she brought to city council. She mentioned all of those things. I would like to have a moment at some point to give my thoughts on those things.
All right. Any more questions for the candidates? Or there's one in the back there.
My name is Reed Pearson, I'm Patty Pearson's husband. I have a question for all of you. Is this an impeachment trial?
Is this an impeachment trial?
All of you, answer that question.
For what?
Impeachment.
First over here,
For Diana, you mean?
correct.
I feel this is supposed to be a forum where you received information and it wasn't in an attack mode. If you have something illegal, I think that should have been processed through legal means.
If I can address that,
Just,
my original.
I'll ask
yes.
you a question.
You still-
I want them to finish.
Oh, all right.
I asked the question, you didn't ask it. Next.
I just feel that if you're gonna be on a city council, you need to actually live in the city and know what is going on in the city at all times.
Okay, next.
I feel the same way that Dee Dee said, and I don't quite understand your question of when you're saying impeachment.
Well, the way you're treating her, same way the president's being treated right now. Some people here are acting like that.
The way I was asking her, I wanted her to answer that she lives in this town.
But we have individuals in the crowd asking the same question.
What do you mean?
Go ahead, Mayor.
Is this a strategy here, or?
if I could say, I too questioned when when Diana first filled out the form on September 5th and gave it to our city clerk to get her name on the ballot. I spoke with the Office of the Secretary of State because they oversee all elections. I spoke with Lisa Winter, who is our Lewis County Auditor, who oversees the elections and had to verify that information. And according to both of those, Diana has presented information that leads them to believe she does indeed reside in this city. There are many, many people who live in this city who disagree with that. But what I would tell everyone is, instead of having this be an attack, do what you need to do. We have an election, which is one of the greatest gifts we've all been given by the Constitution of the United States. And from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. on November 5th, you need to be in this building exercising that right. Vote your conscience. Whatever anyone's done to get their name on the ballot, they have to live with. Amen.
Next.
It's called, what's called permanent residency, or your permanent residence, okay? I knew she had put that as her permanent residence, so I contacted the state too, and I asked them, what are the requirements? Do you have to sleep every night in a home for it to be your permanent residence, or, you know, your whatever? And they said no. Because, you know, some politicians, 6 months or more months, some of them 10 months out of the year they don't live, but they're listed as a resident of Iowa or Indiana or whatever, but they don't live there 12 months out of the year. They don't even sleep there 2 months out of the year. It has nothing to do with how many nights you spend in a house. It's about what's listed on the tax rolls as your residence and what is your permanent one or whatever. And according to her state records, she is a resident of this community. I mean, she might live out of town. She has property in this community. You know, and if people had a real problem with that, it should have been brought up way before this. And I find it's kind of, it gives me a really icky feeling, because if you want to vote about it, vote. Vote your conscience. Go in and vote who you want the best person to be on the council, who you think is going to represent this community best. That's your job. Our job is to do that job after you elect us. But it needs to be left to the individual, and I don't think the little nastiness and rumors have been going around, the sneakiness that's been going around,
That's good.
I don't like. Sorry.
Okay, my last question is, who's the gentleman over here that interrupted me?
Me? I'm Wally Younger, and I'm the mayor of your husband. And if you want to go outside and talk, we can
No,
go.
that's right. I understand now, thank you.
Can I,
Go ahead.
say something?
I don't know.
Before my wife was ever on the city council, and this is for you, okay? I came down here and I went to the city council meeting, pissed off, offered solutions, and this went back 15 years ago, okay? When Mr. Lawson was appointed to the council, I went down to the council and told them that, yeah, I'd like to be mayor. This is before my wife became the mayor. And was told that I couldn't do that because they're compensated with public funds. Council members, I think, are way overpaid. They get $5 a month. And I think the mayor gets $10 a month. And I want to be on there because I'm tired of the old-time good kid politics here. Okay? And if you wanted to see me pissed off, I could ask both of these some questions that it's not appropriate in here. But that's who I am. And I care about this city. And I think that the council that we have now is doing a hell of a good job. I don't have anything against
I care
your
about
wife.
the city too. She's running for mayor, your wife is the mayor,
She is. So we know who I'm gonna vote for at this point.
I understand that, but I'm saying, the way you're talking towards candidates here, you shouldn't be doing that.
Go
You
ahead.
should not be doing that.
No, she's got the floor.
Okay, I would really like us to get back to addressing the issues and how we're gonna move forward and work together in a positive way. I go to most of the city council meetings. I have seen a big difference since Miriam has become mayor. And the previous mayor, I'm a very respectful person at the council meetings. And anybody here who goes to the council meetings knows that he's gotten in my face a couple times and he was just, so we went from a more negative council to a council now that is positive, where I see people working together. So I don't understand why when things are actually happening in this town to improve it. And I've said this to the people to one of the people that are running too, is that when everything is going so well and the town's being cleaned up and people are working together in a positive direction, to me, that's a good thing. And I would love to see people come to the meetings that disagree with something and then have a positive solution and work together with the council towards that solution. So I'd like to try to turn this around to where first of all, I think Miriam should speak to what Patty said about her plans of the street and stuff. And then I think we should ask specific questions about what your plan for the city is. We're specific and what you're doing, and that each person should answer. And that way, nobody feels attacked, because that's not what we're here for. So, can you have Miriam answer Patty's concerns, and then can we go on with questions about what we're gonna do? We're already doing a lot of things. There's a lot of volunteers out in this town that are working hard to change things. And I want to know how we're gonna continue that from each person.
All right, all of this, you have answers to what, Patty?
I don't have answers, I have, my opinion.
Oh, that's good.
Okay. So, I was so organized at home. So, last month, I guess, or I don't know when, September, Patty brought me a thing she found on the internet, and I found it again today, but I do have a copy of it here somewhere. The original, this is about the street widths. I don't know where I put it. She brought a report that she got off the internet. The original report was written for Boulder, Colorado in 1977. And then it was rewritten in 2002, 2006, and the one that she actually gave me was written for Salt Lake City, Utah in 2013. At that time, the street width in Salt Lake City, Utah was 137 feet wide with 5 lanes of traffic. What that report was referring to was 20,000 pedestrian versus car crashes. Now, they did move the streets to, some of them are 26 feet wide, but they didn't take any down to 20, and most of them are still 3 lanes wide. So out of 137 feet, I don't know. But it's for urban areas, and an urban area is defined as an area with over 2,500 people in it. So I do not think that is an applicable report to use for this city. And in addition to that, we are not widening our streets. Our streets have always been 40 feet wide, the right-of-way. There is one street that's 60 feet wide. What we are doing, because we've had so much trouble with people building or parking or placing their junk, for a better word, in the city right-of-way, is we took a look, and nothing has been recorded in this city for a very long time. So we hired JUB to do a survey. They are putting survey markers at each intersection, so moving forward, people will be able to get their own survey and have a definite place to measure from. That is the only thing we are doing. We are not widening the streets. And there has, by the way, and Jason can correct me if I'm wrong, never been injury crash between 2 cars, or a bike and a car, or a person in a car in this town. That is why they did that report, to lower the streets. As far as the snow removal gate to put on a snowplow, the year Patty brought that up, I researched it. I found one used one in some state that would cost thousands of dollars to get it here. It was $25,000. Our annual budget right now is $595,000, our annual budget. The library in Clarkston, Washington has a bigger budget than we do, the library. So, yes, Does Mike always do a great job of plowing the snow? Maybe not, but he does a damn good job. And his job, according to the current city council, is to clear the city streets off. And if you stopped every time you plowed a driveway full, then the people on this side of town who didn't get their streets plowed would be way madder than the people that got their driveway plowed. Leanne puts a list, not a list, she says she sends out a thing with the water bill that always says, if you need help with your driveway, contact City Hall. She has a list of people, some who will volunteer and others who will do it for you. They would like to get paid, but Leanne can say that. And we know we have a lot of elderly people in town, but Mike's primary job is to plow the streets. And he can't turn that plow around and get everybody's driveway cleaned off every single time. I've taken a lot of time, so you can go.
Why don't you answer, is that the primary question?
I
City
think so.
streets and snow plowing? Anybody else in this council would like to make any additions to that?
I would like to say a couple of things.
Go ahead.
The fact, I mean, at the time when I asked Matt, you said it was $25,000 and that was an ungodly amount of money to pay for a snow gate because the city doesn't have money. Well, the thing about it is, as far as spending money, I think spending $23,000 for the sidewalk in front of the library, that's a 10 by 25 foot sidewalk. The city spent, the contractor was $22,000. Well, just five,
No, it wasn't 22,000, it was 2,200.
it's in the minutes, it's
$2,200.
$2,200.
It was not 22,000.
It was. It says right there, the quote from Jesse Strybuck in the sum of $22,925.80.
That is a typo, we did not.
And in the bills for last month, when I went there and she read the bills, she read out $22,925.
It was not 22,000, it was 2,200. And the city had to do that because it was falling apart.
Well, I understand that, but I was just upset because when she went over the bills, I mean, this was the amount that was said and nobody batted an eyelid. And I thought, $22,925.80 to have the sidewalk done, and then $3,000 for the concrete on top of that. And then Mike's hours for working 3 days to do it. I thought that was an excessive amount to pay for a 10 by 25 sidewalk. And I mean, I'm just going by the figures.
I see that, and you could have brought it up when we talked about it. I'm sorry, that was a typo. It was $2,200. City had to do it. It was a request from the library because a lot of disabled people go there. The sidewalk was cracked. The drainage was wrong. We own the building. The person that owns the building is responsible for the repair and upkeep of the adjacent sidewalk. And it had been requested for about 5 years that it be fixed. So I could add that to my list of things I got done because it's repaired. And I'm sorry for the typo, we did not pay that much on it.
Well, I mean, I went to the council meeting, that was the amount that was made up, when she wrote up, and she was saying the budget, she listed 22,000, so.
You guys argue back and forth all you want
Sorry.
on that, but if you could go look at the check page, Brenda,
I mean, I'm just going by what I got in the mail.
I know that, but you could check it out yourself, not
Okay.
accuse the mayor.
No, I
No, you just accuse the mayor.
But that was the amount that was said at the
Yeah,
council.
if you thought it was wrong, you should have funded that. Source, similar to the way you turned on the street additions. You know, not enough research. So, any more questions? No personal attacks, if you
I have
can
a
avoid
comment,
it.
I have a
Go ahead.
comment about the widening of the streets. I just want to clarify my opinion, what's happening. Okay, that end of town was surveyed first. What Mike is doing, now that we know where the survey markers are and where the edge properties are, he's going back through and putting in culverts because we now know where the edge of the property is, and he's also putting in the ditches. And when you clean out the ditches and put the culverts in, it looks like you're widening the streets, but those have always been the width of the city streets.
Okay, good.
And I would like to make a comment because I live on the side of of town that was surveyed first, is that there are two homes very close to where I live, where people had, because nobody knew where the edge of the street was, and that was a big frustration before Marion became mayor, is that nobody knew where the edges of the streets were, and there were people that left the streets one lane, two particular homes, and I'm pretty sure that, I know that the other people up there know which homes they are. So that has all been cleaned up. And to me, that was a safety issue. And it was also, an extreme irritation for me because when Mike plowed, or when Mike graded, or when they put the oil down, there were always rigs out in the middle of the street, so he had to go around them. Now the city had that moved off the street. So I would personally like to say thank you for that. I think that's a really positive thing. So I do think that if more people went to city council and we knew, like what you just said, there's been a lot of talk in town about, oh, what are they doing? I know I had a question on Camas when they were widening that. But I do think that we're doing something now to get information out to everybody that will be upcoming. And I think that if we all, I think more people should come to city council meetings.
Go
I
ahead,
have a
Liz.
comment about the snow removal. I worked for the highway district for 7 years, plowing snow. And if you guys think that's an easy job, go ride with the snowplow driver, especially if we have a bad winter, because you are in that snowplow day in, day out, and nothing is ever good enough. But, you know, Mike does the best he can here with the equipment we have. And if you raised for every driveway, so they wouldn't have the 4-foot berm or whatever, your roads would never get plowed because it would be raised the whole time because it's driveway, 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 driveway. You know, I mean, we have to, you move to a snow area, you probably should have some way to clean out your driveway or have somebody that is able to help clean out your driveway because it's gonna be full of snow. And there's a lot of 4-wheelers with blades. I am one of them, my son is one of them, my husband, we go around and we clean out driveways, we plow for people that can't plow, we plow for people that don't have the equipment to plow. And I've never, ever gotten a dime for it, nor do I want a dime for it. I just want people to know that there are those people out there, and some people do charge for them. We don't, I mean, if you pay my son, that's fine, it goes for gas for the 4-wheeler, you know? But I just wanna say that, snow removal isn't the easiest thing, and to buy decent snow equipment is very expensive.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'd like to make a comment. So we have property here, we're new to the area, we have family here. And I have to tell you, when we first started coming here and seeing my family 4 years ago, we were like, this is a very, parts of it was cluttered with garbage and broke down things, and it wasn't very appealing to us, but we definitely, I came from a small town, my husband did not, so I did want to relocate to a smaller town, not only for our children, but just for the lifestyle that I grew up with. To see the difference that Marion has made in the last couple of years, or year and a half, or however long that she's been mayor, is amazing. We bought property last year, we paid taxes on it, you know, I guess for a resident, I can't vote. So, I mean, it's nice to be here and be allowed to be here, but just to see the changes that have been done in the community, and to see, I've seen Dee Dee at tons of things that have gone on here, the silent auctions, the 4th of July, I've seen John, I've actually seen Gary, and I've seen Marion, and I've just seen all of them. It's just so nice to see these faces, not only here, but just out when, and we're not here every day. We only come, you know, when we can come, and it's just so enlightening how much the town has changed because of the council and because since Marion's been there. It's just been amazing. So thank you, Marion.
But I have done nothing without a lot of help.
Correct. With a good team.
Any more questions for the candidates that can be answered by Freeman?
I'd like to know the feelings of the candidates on raising property tax within this city. All of them.
You're on the council list, you get the
Okay.
head list here.
I would like to do everything I can not to raise taxes, okay? Then I also heard that we had some of the highest taxes around. I did some research, there's 43 counties in Idaho. There's 30 of them that have a higher tax rate per annum than we do in Lewis County. I would not want to be on the upper side of the tax rate per county. So I would do everything I could do to not raise the property taxes here.
No, I don't think the property taxes should be raised right now in this town. For one thing, everybody's getting their sewer rates are gonna be jumped up, the water rates, your sewer rates are going up, what, 4.6%? We get
Sewer
rate,
rates not going up,
like, well,
the garbage.
garbage, yeah, garbage is going up 4.6. So I'm, city services go up, I think we should try to keep the taxes down.
We haven't heard from Diana for a while. What's your opinion on tax raising?
My feelings are that we should try to contain taxes where they are, but, from being here for many years, we used to have a lot of volunteers that came in and did a lot of work so that we didn't have so many expenses incurred by the city. So yes, I'd like to see the taxes where they are or lower, but I also realize we have to cover our expenses, so.
We still have a lot of volunteers that help out, but when our other services come in and they want raises, if we want garbage here, we've got to pay the garbage. So if all of the other rates are going up, no, I don't want to see taxes.
I think, given a budget of $600,000 a year is not very much. We are on a Native American reservation, which there are some properties within our city limits that do not pay taxes. We have a lot of people who are behind on their taxes, and if they would realize the effect that has, because we have such a small tax base. I know that my husband also mentioned once that we could raise sales tax in town, and I don't want to do that either because we only have like 6 businesses, so it seems like an awful burden. And one of the things I found out since I've been on the council is that's a very fine line that you walk, because just when we were writing the comprehensive plan, this many people want sidewalks and paved streets, and there's just as many that absolutely do not. They moved here because they don't want to pay higher taxes. So if we ever went down that road, we would have a fight on our hands. So I'm just saying, because I'm a wussy, I don't want to fight that battle. I think we should find other ways to optimize the money we do have.
That's good. Okay, any other questions now that pertain to the election of these candidates? Anything specific to any one of the candidates, other than what we've been through?
Hi,
Go ahead.
this is for both people that are running, okay? The 2 people that are running, these council people already exist in mayor, so Diane and Patty. What do you think that you could bring to the council, so for you, that is not already happening with the new mayor and the new people we have in? I certainly could understand the previous council, but with the new council, what do you think you would bring that would change it or make it better?
I believe that my previous experience, being a self-employed person all my life, being involved with health and welfare, being involved with volunteer positions, and the volunteer work that I've done in the past, I've created a lot of, helped create a lot of programs in the past. The last few years I haven't been very involved, but I've also tried to be involved. But not all organizations in this town are friendly at this point. I feel like I have a lot of knowledge of this community. I've been involved in this community, and I agree that we have a good council. But a lot of people don't agree with some of the things that are going on with the council, even though.
Could you be specific? you know, I kind of feel like you just answered, who you are, but what is your specific plan that would be different from the positive direction the town is going? What, because you said some things aren't friendly, so then working together, how would you be able to work together better with the council to do, and what is your plan that's different from what they're doing?
My plan would be to work more directly with people, to come to them if the city has a problem, come to them, try to work the problem out with them before we start legal lawsuits or whatever. I think that we need to have a positive impact on the community and not be attacking them.
You missed that question, go over, Patty.
So the same question, only as mayor, what do you see that you would do, you know, to take the town in a positive direction and work positively with city council that Miriam's not doing, rather than, you know,
Okay, well, one thing I think I would do is the front doors are missing. There's no welcome to Winchester signs coming into this community. The ones that show pride in your community. I mean, to me, that's important. You need to know where you are when you drive into the place. And we don't have anything, they're gone. I think those should be put back. I mean, and as far as working with, you know, I listen to people. I research things, you know, people come to me with ideas. I have lots of ideas. But, you know, I won't shoot somebody down because somebody else maybe doesn't like their idea, because everybody's idea has merit. So everybody, if they come up with an idea, it's important enough for them to present it to you. It should be important enough for you to listen to and at least consider. And that's what I think. I think there needs to be a little more respect, a little more common courtesy to the people that come to the council meetings. I've been to a lot of council meetings, previous mayor and this mayor. And I don't think you should ever walk into a council meeting and ask a question of a person on the council and be told you're rude. I just don't think that's the council's place. I think as a council member, you are there, you are an elected representative, and you're gonna take heat. I mean, I ran nonprofits, and when people get upset, they come in and they can call you terrible names. But your place is to be courteous and respectful and listen. And you don't get personal with people. And I've seen that happen too many times. And I think that needs to be taken out of the council setting. Because the council setting is a business setting. When you walk in there and you sit behind that council and the council and get the business, that's city business. And as such, it should be treated that way. And the people that walk in that door and address members should be treated with courtesy and respect always, regardless.
Yes, go ahead.
So as far as the welcome to Winchester signs, it has been discussed at our council meetings several times that they are going to be put up. We at Trico are going to do them. We are trying to get caught up on all of our other projects. So we're making it a winter project, and it has been discussed several times at the council meetings in front of everybody that they are in progress of being done.
And if I could add to that, one of the issues with putting them up is all of the roads into town are owned by ITD. And they have very specific requirements for the size of the sign, the way they look, and how far back they're placed from their right-of-way, or if you have to get special permission. I've talked to a few people in the Lewiston office. No, I don't have their name or phone number in front of me. I'm very sorry. And right now, most of the answers I get from them are, we're really busy on this road project. Can you call us back in a few months? But Dee Dee did accept responsibility. Mr. Bly, I believe, years ago, came up with a sign. I believe that was him. We have an old picture, and sort of like the lake in the forest, and says, "Welcome to Winchester." And so Dee Dee was kind enough to commit to that with her Trico group. So we are working on that, but one of the obstacles is ITD, which I have talked to them a couple times, but I'll have to continue that when the signs are ready, because they have they have a lot of specifications for placing the signs. But I think that's a great idea. I do think that, same with planters, which we've discussed at a few meetings. It's just a very simple way to make your town look cared for and welcoming. Yes.
Okay, any other specific questions? People have complaints, but no one wants to voice them here. This is not a city council meeting, this is a candidate. Okay.
I have a comment. First of all, I want to apologize to Diane and Adam, if you think I was attacking. Diane, I have no problem with you at all, and I think your husband walks on water, feet don't stink, and he loves Jesus, okay? The reason that I asked the residency question is because there's a lot of folks in this town that are questioning that, and I wasn't hearing anybody ask it. That's why I asked you that. It was not a personal attack on you. I just happen to know what goes on in the city council meetings. And in my opinion, and the way that I do business, if somebody has a complaint or has a problem, give me a solution, because I might not have it. And so, if I offended either one of you, I'm sorry. That's who I am, that's the way I am, and I'm not gonna change.
Okay. Well, I'm just sort of a personal secretary with my head on backwards, but if there are more questions, I think that this, the way to solve the problem that we have here, that nobody thinks about is vote. Register and vote.
There is a question.
Oh, excuse me, who has a question? Oh, excuse me, go ahead.
I'm Patty Pearson's, husband, he's running for mayor. And I am who I am. If anybody attacks, I wanna stick up for that person, so I want you to be aware of that.
No. All right, the way to solve this problem, really, to get everything off your chest, is to vote in November for the person you think best qualified for this job. And you can't vote for me. I'm not even from here. And I wouldn't run. These people have a lot on their hands, and if new council members get in or a new mayor, they'll see things a little bit differently than when they see it right now. I mean, everybody who is in this job learns a lot more being here than being on that side. It's a surprisingly hard job.
Can I have one comment?
Sure.
I really feel like we need to encourage businesses to come into our community. We need to reevaluate our business area, and we need to have more businesses come in. The more businesses that come in that contribute to the community rather than take from the community, the better we're going to be, because then we'll have a resource to pick from.
Are we done?
Yes.
All right. Thank you for coming.
Thank you all for coming in.
They admitted everybody, but I gotta get going. My kids are coming up.
Oh, well, tell them hi.
Gonna try to fix some stuff around the house.
Oh, well, that's important. You don't want to miss that.
Take care. When you guys taking off? Okay.
Come down.
She leave? Well, is she gonna pick up after herself?
I guess not.